And action, Brent.
Hopping in the van, we headed away from civilization and into the countryside, or as the Aussies put it, beyond the black stump.
So we're heading to the Cradle of Humankind today, which is meant to be where the first known artefacts of humankind are found, yeah?
Yep. Travelling through the unique South African bushveld, Brent was excited to visit the restaurant at Forum Homini.
Aren't we going to a really nice restaurant out there?
Roots Forum Homini.
I'm interested in that because the restaurants I've been to in Joburg City have been good, but you think about outside of the city and I didn't think there would be much there. So this is meant to be a really cool place.
This area was formed by a massive meteorite strike millions of years ago and is known as the Cradle of Humankind. This is Brent Owens. He chose to explore the world's different flavors and started his journey in South Africa. We'll be taking you on a guided tour to debunk some of the unknowns and push Brent to the limit as we take this taste of adventure to the extreme.
Are we going to the restaurant now?
Yep.
Forum Homini?
Literally named after the same thing.
That will be cool because you look around and you would think of a top restaurant being out here and you're like, that's mental.
Nestled in the heart of the cradle sits Forum Homini's restaurant, Roots. Yaku was waiting to meet Brent and give him the tour.
I'm smiling, I'm almost laughing because I just drove in here with the team and it's like a four-wheel drive, all-terrain in the middle of nowhere, in barren land, and we land in a diamond in the rough. Where are we?
Basically, we are Forum Homini Roots in the Cradle of Humankind. Very unassuming, surprising. But yeah, we like it that way. We're also in a UNESCO World Heritage Site and on this beautiful game estate, Latama.
You know, I look around and you've got old trees, you've got bushland, you've got scrub, you've got, you know, murky water, and you know, what's the motivation behind that?
Our owner and founder, Mr. Hendrik Maree, always had a great love for the story of human evolution. Found it quite romantic that our ancestors walked here. It was here about 1.7 million years ago, just down the road where the first evidence of humans making fire is. You know, you look at our name, Forum Homini, it's basically, homini is short for hominin, which was a phase of our ancestors that we went through. So a gathering of people, and that's what we're about.
Now I'm interested in the next part, which is the tummy.
Oh.
Do you do food?
We do food, and we do very, very good food, yeah. Would you like to have a look at our kitchen quickly?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
After you.
Thanks.
I mean, it's interesting when you hear people say organic and locally produced, but when you say locally produced, how local is it?
Well, the very fact that our menus changes daily means that we can support the local producers around us, and you might find venison on this venue that was culled on this very estate.
Yako has told me that everything's fresh, everything's local, locally sourced food. Tell me a bit more about that and what the motivation behind the menu that you create is.
I can't really tell you what the motivation behind the menu is because we're all just playing around and putting stuff together until we like it. Every month we write a new menu with 6 courses and the older menu would fall away.
And everything's local.
Everything is local, yes.
When you've got eggs that I can still see feathers on.
Yeah,
So
the farm is right next door.
Well, there you go.
Farm
And
right
local
next
is
door.
local.
I think for a waiter it's nice to be able to tell a guest that. So this is the kudu. They shot it 2 days ago. It was still warm. And I'm like, not 2 days. But like a week ago or something, it hangs for a bit though. But I think it's quite cool for the waiter to tell the guests, and I think the guests appreciate it, especially like the venison that comes from the farm.
Of course. Oh, 100%. And it's so much more enjoyable for a diner to be able to come to a place like this.
I think it's a different experience though.
What is it about South African food that makes it South African cuisine?
The amount
The amount.
of food. South Africans eat a lot. They really do. No, I think it's more comfy food, eh?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
South Africans like comfy food, rich foods.
What are you doing?
Shit. I'm carrying egg yolks for one of our menus. It's ash, some equal quantities of salt and sugar, and the egg yolks that I put in some orange rind and lemon rind.
It's strong too.
It's because it's South African. Everything's strong around here.
So we're heading to the Cradle of Humankind. When I looked it up and researched it, it looks like it's in the proper bush. The veld. Is that what you call it? The veld? Veld.
Our next stop was Maropeng, where Brent would find out about our ancient origins.
What is this place, Mark? Where are we?
You're at a place called Maropeng, which is a Tswana word meaning a place of origins, place of bones.
Bones.
This is the visitor center for the Cradle of Humankind World Heritage Site.
And then we've got this huge volcano-like structure behind us. Is it meant to be sort of deceptively ugly from the outside?
Absolutely.
And
Well,
spark
it's
interest?
meant to be weird.
Yeah.
You're not meant to know what you're looking at. We discovered, and it was the most amazing thing, 40 ancient hand axes made by creatures, probably Homo habilis, 1.1 million years ago. And I always point out there is a direct relationship between that 1.1 million year old hand axe and your laptop. They're all tools for human development.
It was time to explore. Mike explained to Brent that the reason for building it underground was to make the visitor feel like a paleontologist, and Lindiwe was there to be Brent's guide through the past.
The first event that you see through is the emergency of modern humans that says that we are 190,000 years. If that could be put down to a sequence of a 12-hour clock, then you would be 2 seconds old.
Isn't that amazing? You think about the world as we know it now, life is always in the fast lane. Everybody's moving at the fastest pace possible. But as we descend back, things start to slow down. Things develop slower.
The Darwin child was the first one to be discovered 1924 by Raymond Dart. 1947, Mrs. Bliss was discovered, but then the interesting thing is that now this was highlighted as the most complete skull of an Australopithecus.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? To think about, you know, guys really just digging in the dirt in the middle of nowhere, that they find this and it becomes the birthplace of humanity.
We say that this is the birthplace of humanity. Africa is for Africans, and every person in the world becomes an African.
Genuinely, it's amazing how invested you get in this sort of stuff when you actually come to these places. And what I've learned in this short amount of time is nothing short of amazing and mind-blowing. So I'll probably go home now, digest it, and start reading books to find out more, because that's what this does. So I thank you for your tour. It's been a pleasure. Let's go have a hug. Hug it out. No, initially when we walked in and I started talking to Mike, I thought, here we go, what are we doing here? This is just a tourist attraction. It's not what I came to South Africa to discover. But you know, talking with him and hearing his stories and the insight, he's one interesting guy. Even walking through, you know, the Cradle and the museum, I was more thinking about what it's created for the community. You know, you've literally got barren land, desert-like setting, and then you've got all these job creations because of the Cradle. You know, it's that sense of innovation. And I get that vibe throughout South Africa everywhere. People are creating. Morning, guys. We are headed to Wicked Food, which is like this new slow food movement in South Africa and I guess the world alike, which I'm all for. And I think I'm going out to the country, I think you call it the Veld here, to a place where they distill Mampur, which is some sort of South African moonshine.
Before we introduced Brent to South African moonshine, we took him to meet Mike and Howard at Wicked Food Earth, a farm that's part of the slow food movement.
Now, the home of the slow food movement, organic farming, what's it all about?
Yeah, well, we work beyond organics, so we feel that the organic movement has been hijacked by big business. So we really look at organic principles and we follow them to the letter of the law. So we don't use any pesticides, we don't use any growth hormones, and we try and go as natural as possible.
And free range, fine line?
Totally free range.
Do you have a free range paddock here that we can go and have a look at?
Yeah, we'll go and have a look. I think the first thing we need to go and look at, the sheep need to get out into the field, so let's go and look at the sheep and I'll show you what indigenous sheep look like.
Indigenous, cool.
Yeah.
You'll have to guide me because I've got absolutely no idea.
So the whole idea is every morning we come here and we just check the sheep to make sure that there's no problems overnight.
And I mean, you can see how comfortable they are, everybody.
We really grow firstly for us, for our family. We're a subsistence farmer, we're not a commercial farmer. And then we share with a small group of people whatever's left over.
You don't give a damn about the money, obviously. It's got nothing to do with the money because if it was, you wouldn't be doing this. This is about making a difference. And if we all, you know, try and do something collectively, we can actually make a difference. And that's what you're doing. I want to be careful.
There we go.
Is that the right way to hold them? Like a little baby?
Yeah. So there you go.
They're just so placid, aren't they? Like you would expect it to be panicked and petrified.
This is Carlos who looks after them day in and day out and makes sure that they're all happy. Yeah, but he's happy. His mother's not very happy with you, but he's
I might put him down then.
Yeah. There we go. So he's looking again for security from his mother. So we're going to move the sheep out now.
So have to get the hands dirty?
No, we'll just quietly, we just open the gate and then we're just going to move them out.
I'm nervous.
No, don't be nervous. Okay, that's going to run, eh? When they go run, there we go.
That's it?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't even done anything. Well, that was easier than I thought, wasn't it? But I think that there is just the key to exactly that. And they're gone. They're just living life like they should.
I think what we should be doing is eating less meat, but eating much better quality meat, and then rounding out our diets with a lot more vegetables. At the end of the day, we've all got to make an income.
Yeah.
But for us, it's all about the sustainability of it. Most of the meat that we produce is for our own consumption, and then we produce a little bit of charcuterie that we sell just to try and make ends meet.
Yeah. And is it something that's sort of starting to take off in the area?
Yeah, very slowly, unfortunately, very slowly. We're an educational facility at the end of the day. So we do a lot of research, and we also do a lot of experimentation. So the knowledge that we learn, we then pass on to other small-scale farmers, and hopefully they then take it a step further.
You might not think that you'd make him change, but just by showing this around the world on TV, you know, a small farmer just doing his bit, trying to help the community and do the right thing, it's incredibly powerful. And I mean, spreading the word and getting this stuff out there is what will spark change.
Brent was inspired and encouraged to meet farmers who were going back to their roots in order to make food sustainable for the future.
This is a piece of fillet that we have.
Proper fillet.
And this is real fillet. And one of the special things as far as being able to break your own pigs down, that you get to enjoy the fillet. Now, the fillet is the muscle that's the least worked, and that's the reason why it's so tender.
Will you use that fat?
Yeah, I'll put that back into sausage.
Yeah, nice. So literally no waste. Organic product, pigs from the paddock. Fat is used for sausage. There's no wastage, there's no nothing. Everything's used.
I think the amazing thing about this is the quality is so good that you can actually eat it raw. And we just chop it.
Is that even legal?
What's legal and what's not legal?
Well, I mean, I'm from Australia. I've never ever heard of someone eating raw pork in my entire life.
In Australia, you guys don't even eat unpasteurized cheese.
True.
So just taste a little bit.
I'm a bit nervous, to be honest, because you've got that preconception that this will make you sick, but it won't because it's good quality stuff.
It nearly tastes as good as sushi. Sushimi.
There you go. Japanese franchise. Raw pork sashimi. Done. All right, what's next?
Let's take this fillet and we're going to wrap it in some pancetta. A fun way of doing this, take the leaves and then put a row of leaves in. So as it cooks, this sage will really get into the meat nicely.
Yeah, nice.
And then we just roll it slowly.
All right, Mikey, we ready to fry?
Yeah, I think so. There we go, magic.
All right, time to taste.
Yeah, see what it's like.
Looks great. I mean, you can taste the difference. It doesn't taste like a mass-produced supermarket product that's bland. There's barely any salt on that, but I can taste the fresh produce. The meat is super tender. The artichokes are full of flavour. I mean, all you have to do is look at the colour of that sweet potato to realise that it's an amazing product.
With a 3-hour drive ahead of us, Brent made sure to load up on food before we headed off to the home of Mampur.
It's a long drive. I'm wrecked. I can't wait to just get there.
How many times you've had mampur in your life?
Never had mampur before. I'm looking forward to it. I know that it's like the South African version of moonshine, and I guess it suits the environment, doesn't it? People making moonshine out in the bush, or in the veld. I don't know if trucks would be safe on these roads. We have arrived. We've been driving for 3 hours, and I think we've arrived at a maximum security prison, so I'm a bit nervous.
We had brought Brent to meet Rina, a third-generation Mampur distiller, who promised to put a few hairs on Brent's chest.
So traditionally in Australia, alcohol's produced in big factories in the cities that are then put straight onto trucks, taken to the shipping yards, and off they go. Here, it's obviously a little bit different. How does it all sort of function?
It's traditional from our grandparents that distilled it. It's still small businesses that makes it, and there's not a lot of them that's legal. Most of them, unlegal.
What's this one?
Legal.
Don't answer that. Don't answer that. It's all right, it's all right.
No, this one is legal.
So essentially, it's made for your own consumption.
Us, no. We distill it for people to take it back to, like you, to Australia or other places, and we can sell in bottle stores.
Well, I think it's cool that, you know, there's still the simple life. You've got traditional recipes.
I won't say we try to keep everything back in the old days, but some traditions just try to keep them going.
I'm slightly nervous to try it, but looking forward to it. So let's have a taste. So where is this Mampua? Oh, here we go.
Have a look.
This
This
fourth.
Does it
That's
look
right,
nice?
doesn't it? So is it pretty much whatever fruit you've got, you just ferment
Yeah,
it?
whatever fruit we get, we ferment.
So it's still done the same way it was done by your parents and further
Yeah.
on, and it always will be.
And it always will be.
Your kids?
Well, they want to, so when they're big enough, they can
Oh,
start.
you have to keep it alive.
Yeah.
It's so strong, honestly. It's something that I'm interested in. Do I want to drink it? Not really, but I will.
Yeah, I think
Only
we
if you
to.
have one with me.
Okay.
So you got flavours, you know, peppermint, different ones, which is cool. What is the one that we're tasting today?
We're tasting the water one, the 60%. That would be that.
The rocket fuel. So is it similar, I mean, the African version of vodka?
Yeah, it's just stronger.
Great.
I'm gonna be merciful.
One more for the director.
Oh, yeah, and one for the director.
Come on, come on. They say that everybody in South Africa drinks a lot, so welcome, Chris. Chris, welcome.
Hello, hello. This is called Sacrificing for Your Show.
This is lemon.
Fermented lemon
Fermented
juice.
lemon.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
I got a chaser that I can wash this down with, or?
No.
Just not get the chase.
Woo! Okay, that's enough for me. Oh, another one for the road.
That's not to say we did.
So many small places doing big things. Everyone who Brent had met was passionate about what they did, and all of it spoke to our shared history. Mike explaining our origins and that we're all from the same soil. Yaku and Bianca using the ingredients around them to create unique and authentic meals. Mike and the Wicked Food team taking farming back to its roots. Rina continuing her family's ancient distilling tradition. For a countryside so unassuming, Brent was surprised by the sheer amount of heritage that this land held. He had visited the birthplace of humankind and had found humankind had gone full circle, touching both the past and the future.